Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is about bow shuriken or no spin throwing knife. Is there a difference? And if it is, where is it? And what would be the differences? Now, if you've been following my videos, a few videos ago I was talking about how every knife can be thrown, but over the time specific throwing knives have evolved. This is a homemade one, but for example, this is a rotational thrower. Yes, it is a homemade one. It's not a commercial knife, or not a custom knives either. Well, it is custom because I made it, so it's one of a kind. Now, based on a very common shape. Okay, so it's nothing new under the sun, right? This is a rotational knife. This is a no spin knife. Okay, so is there a difference between? Some people said this is just a spike. Well, it is kind of, yet I do call it as a no spin knife. So where is the difference between, or where is the end, where is one end and the other begins? Right, so let's start at my definition. Okay, it's not necessarily anybody else's. Actually, before I go to that, there is a throwing organization that defines the throwing knife must have a definite handle side, and the blade, which can be like a false edge, or the edge portion of the knife, has to be minimum of 30% of the overall length. Okay, so there is, some people do define it. Okay, so with that said and done, my definition of what is a no spin, or what makes a no spin throwing knife. So first of all, this has to have two dimension in a way of one side is a thinner and a thicker. Okay, so it's not a square, it's a rectangle. Second, it must have a false edge, or a false edge, preferably false edge. Okay, so must have a false edge, and must be having two dimensions, or two measurement, not dimensions, sorry, my bad, two measurements. This way is bigger, and then across is less. Okay, that is a no spin throwing knife, versus something like this, which is square. So one measurement, this one is a 10 by 10 millimeter by 10 millimeter, and it has a point. It does not have a false edge, so it won't even work as a letter opener. Okay, it comes to a point. So this, by definition, is a bow shuriken. This is a no spin throwing knife. And then comes, these are two ends, sorry, and then comes the middle gray area, because this is a professionally made, it's called the giant dragonfly. Okay, which is square. I mean, it tapers down, but it is square, but it has, I don't know if you can see it, it has a very nicely defined false edge in the front. Okay, so it has a false edge, but it's square, so it's in the middle. You call it what you want. This is in the gray area. So is, for example, this is a homemade, one of my creations, which is flat, so has two dimensions, just like a no spin throwing knife, but comes to a point, does not have a force edge whatsoever. So this is in the middle. Now, if you're entering competition, look up the rules. If you, like me, like to think about stuff, this is my idea, my way of characterizing. And if I'm talking to somebody and I'm going to say I'm throwing a throwing knife, and I pick up this, it has a, doesn't matter how short it is, but it does have a force edge, and it's flat, it's a throwing knife. It's a no-spin throwing knife. So this is how I differentiate when I'm talking to people, when I'm writing in groups, between a throwing knife or no-spin throwing knife and a bow shuriken. Okay. Now, yes, I completely understand if other people have different views on this, which I'm very happy to hear in the comments. But this is my way to differentiate them. Okay. Hope you learned something, or maybe broadened your knowledge a little bit, or even just give you a good laugh because you found it funny. And then I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.